Today I wanted to show how I change my infusion sets. So I've already got the pump disconnected and my old reservoir removed and my old infusion set also removed. So my pump is ready to load the reservoir. So it's already being rewound. So what I'm going to do is open up my new reservoir. Pull it back to get some air in it. I have a partial insulin vial. So I'm going to get that insulin out. It's not going to take long. There's not much in there. There's that. Pull this back. And then I kind of just let it release the pressure on its own. And then I slowly start to pull once it's released the pressure from the inside the insulin vial. And then I'm gonna let it sit. Try to get all the air bubbles off the side. Oops. All right. I'll pull you up so you guys can see. So you can see the air bubbles right at the top. I'm just gonna push them slowly back into the vial. And just kind of work with it to get the air bubbles out. There's a lot of air bubbles in this vial, so I'm going to let it sit for a second. So this is the Medtronic Mio. I have been on the Mios for most of the time that I've been on the Medtronic pump. They're my favorite infusion set because everything comes all together in this little pod. So first thing, you remove this. So you can see you got the infusion set here and all of your tubing is wrapped around the Mio. So you gotta be gentle when you pull it out. Sometimes the tubing gets wrapped up in there. All right, so now that all the tubing is out, I remove the adhesive in this little piece. And the Mio has the inserter built in. So to get ready, you put your fingers on these little ridges on the sides and pull back and it pops. And now it's ready to go. Make sure your tubing is through the little cutout and there's a circular here for your thumb and your finger. And when you press those, it pops in. So that's how it's applied to the skin. So I'm gonna pull it out. I'll show you guys me put it on. All right, so I've got my Mio ready to go. I'm gonna place it on my skin where I want it. This is where I typically put them. Apply pressure, and it fires in. Then you grab where you pull the tab out, and it slowly removes. And then there you go, you can see the needle. And then it leaves the infusion set on. Now you can pinch and wiggle it. It's always a little hard the first time, and it disconnects the tubing. Inside the box comes a little keeper that'll clip on. That way when you take a shower. So now I'm gonna go back to my reservoir here and disconnect the pieces and then connect it to the infusion set and then place it inside my pump. And then now on my pump, I'll show you guys on the other side. So now I've got my pump ready. I'm gonna click load reservoir. It tells me to connect tubing to the reservoir, but do not connect it to your body. Place the reservoir into the pump and lock, which it is. And next. So now we're gonna hold the center button. It's gonna start beeping to push the plunger up against the reservoir. All right, beep saying it's done. Release the button, press next. So now we're gonna fill the tubing. It typically takes about 9 units, so I hold the center button and it tells me how many units it's dispensed. And I'm waiting to see insulin come out of the little tube, or the little needle in the middle. All right, there's the drop. So I click next, and now it wants to fill the cannula on my body. So I am going to clip the infusion set to me. And once I've done that, I click fill, and it's set to half a unit. Fill now, and the pump will quickly pump that in. And that's pretty much it. It's how infusion sets changed. I typically change about every 2 to 3 days, depending on how much insulin I've been using. So now that that's done, I wanted to go through a couple more infusion sets that I have. So this is a new infusion set. It's the Mio Advanced that Medtronic came out with, and I really like these because everything comes together. So I'm going to open it up for you guys. So here's your tubing. Here's the inserter, and the infusion set is just on here on the tip. It has this little safety, which is your keeper. So you clip this on your body if you're going to take a shower or do anything where you need to disconnect the pump to keep any water or anything to get inside your infusion set. You remove the adhesive, and then you press, and it fires. And the needle stays on the inside. You don't see it. And then this is what gets stuck to your body. You can see the little rubber silicone cannula there. That's where the insulin comes out underneath your skin. And then once you get the reservoir done and loaded and your tubing done, you remove this little keeper by pinching on this. And then you just clip the tubing in place and then fill your cannula like we just did there, but just a different infusion set. And then you can remove it and place your little keeper on if you need to disconnect your pump for any reason. The next type of infusion set that I have, that I've used, is called a Quickset. These are a little older. As you can see, it just comes with the infusion set and the tubing and a keeper. These are in the 9mm needle size. You also get these in a 6mm needle size, I believe. These do not have the inserter with them. You have to have the inserter separate. So the way this works is, here's your little keeper for these. They're circular. You remove this paper. Then you have this piece. This little rubber or plastic piece is protecting the needle, and this is how you pull the needle out. I stick them on like this. It pops in. That's how it inserts. So you remove the adhesive. I put my thumb there to keep it in there. Remove the adhesive. Push it down till it locks. Twist. You can see the needle in there exposed. Place it against your skin. It inserts. You remove the inserter. This would be on the skin. You pinch this. It's kind of hard to do holding it. And it removes the needle. And then here's your little infusion set with your rubber cannula on. These have a line. So the line, the arrow pointing to the line means it's locked in place, and arrow to arrow means it's unlocked. So if I twist it arrow to arrow, it pulls out and it has a hole in it, circular. So then you can put the keeper on, which it's bump to arrow. Ooh. Oh, these are a little tricky. Okay, I got it on there. And you twist, and it'll click, and you can feel it lock in place. So this is how you keep it if you need to take a shower or swim or anything like that where you want to disconnect your pump. Then you pinch and twist, and it pops off. And then you line it back up, twist and lock. And that's how this infusion set works. So now that I've covered the 3 different types of infusion sets that I've used, my favorite are the Mios because everything comes in one piece, or one package, excuse me. I can easily throw those in my bag. I keep some in my car, and if anything were to happen and my infusion set was ripped off, I'll have a vial of insulin and typically a couple extra reservoirs with me, and I can quickly get myself going. I don't have to worry about carrying around the inserter like the Quicksets need. So those are my favorite, the 2 Mios, the Mio and the Mio Advanced. The Mio Advanced is rather new. I do like the way it's already in the inserter, ready to go. You apply it to the skin, push the button, and it will insert. I do really like those. The Mios in the little circle, the regular Mios, sometimes it's a little finicky if you're in a hurry trying to unwrap the tubing. So that's why I kind of like the Mio Advanced better. But sometimes I still use the original Mios because I can get a longer tubing for those. So if I have to put my infusion set on the opposite side of my body from where my sensor is, I have plenty of tubing to run my pump across my body to the other pocket. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little quick infusion set video. Stay tuned because later in the week when I change my sensor, I'm going to be doing a sensor change process. Anyway, have a good week.